Hi, everybody. Welcome to another session of Dr. Cammy and Karen Go Keto, where we're transitioning from the standard American diet into a keto lifestyle. Not only our diet, but other things that we do in our life, how we manage our emotions and feelings and things like that in a way that does not depend on carbohydrates. And today we are going to talk about relief from dependence on carbs. That's going to be the title of this video. We just, in our last video, shared that we are going carnivore starting on December 3rd, 2024. We're both going carnivore, and I'm finally on board. Bless Karen Park for, for tolerating me for, I don't know, a year and a half or something, Karen. But I had to go out and do some experimenting recently with more carbohydrates. But I'm feeling really good now about being on a carnivore diet, and I'm feeling relief, which is really, really interesting because when we did our carnivore challenge, I was feeling so much trepidation and so much stress and so much, oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard and this is, not good for me. And, my carbohydrate lovely eating disease was going on and on about it. And now I'm feeling relief from the dependence on the carbohydrates that I've had for so long. And so, the carbohydrate high is very, dependable and reliable. And Karen's going to talk a little bit about that, here now. But the thing that I really used those carbohydrates for in the past was to cope and to soothe myself through difficult times. And the most difficult time was after the loss of my son, which happened in 2005. He drowned in my sister's pool at 4.5 years old. And it was very, very difficult for me. And I had to hold myself together and raise these two other boys who were tweens, who turned into tweens. They were 7 and 9 at the time that Brandon drowned. And I was also working 40 to 60 hours a week in a very stressful, responsible job as a doctor and a surgeon, and having to manage all of that and raise these kids and do all of those things. And the thing that was most dependable for me to help me through my sorrow was my sugar.
Yeah, well, I have been dependent on sugar in a number of occasions. And when we first started this channel, which was August 2022, I think I still, we were planning on, the idea was that we were going to follow a ketogenic lifestyle, but I think I had either started on, or was it 2023 that we started this channel, Cammy?
I think it was 2020.
23. It was 2023.
Yeah, this is the end of 2024.
So because my mom, because I can't understand why I was drinking, why I was having chocolate malt. So that was my go-to sugar high. And I wouldn't even say sugar high, but what I found comfort in was the whole experience of going to the Oberweis drive-through, ordering my chocolate malt, knowing that I was going to enjoy it. And the experience was, I could depend on it and I could be certain of what was going to happen going through the drive-through, paying for it, being greeted by these very chipper, very kind people. They were very nice. They knew my order. They knew who I was. And I was doing it because I started that habit when my mom was in the hospital after having what they described or what they diagnosed her as having a mini stroke. And this was, of course, about a year after Tim had passed away. My husband, Tim, had passed away. So I was already in uncertainty, and my mom is my rock and she's my best friend. And to have her go through this and everything that's gone after that, there's so much uncertainty. She's 86 years old, and it's the carb existence is an easy place to go. It's so easy to go there. We're so, from the time you watch a baby, from the time that baby is 8 months old, people are giving it a cracker or a cookie to soothe it so it doesn't make noise while the parents don't want it to make noise, right? So that is sort of a go-to thing. And I'm sure, even if you do it besides carbs, I'm sure people would, start breastfeeding their child just to soothe the baby too. So there's eating itself is comforting. And I believe that it takes a lot of planning to actually change your habits. And then it takes maybe not willpower, but it just takes persistence, right? I haven't had a chocolate malt from Oberweis in months. I can't say a year, but certainly months. I don't even know how long ago it was, but it was certainly, it's probably close to a year where it's been, maybe once a month as opposed to, there was a time when I was doing it every day at the hospital, right? She's in the hospital for 14 days. I was doing it every single day.
I remember that.
And, I did not feel like I had to eat other food if I had a chocolate malt. And anyway, that's what there's a lot to be said about carbohydrates. I call it the 4 C's, but I can't remember all 4 of them, Cammy. I don't know if you can remember them, but I know it's crave, condone, and cheap. I don't know what the other one is, but that's why people eat carbs.
Something about accessible, something
Convenient. Yeah,
convenient.
convenient. Right.
Convenient, yeah.
Right. You can go to any corner. You can't go every corner in the United States and buy edible gummies, right?
Or
Weed gummies
alcohol
or
or drug.
alcohol. But you can certainly go to every corner and buy carbohydrates. It's quick,
Yeah. And
easy,
I think you bring up
cheap.
a really good point when you said that it's hard to stop. Like, it works. At the beginning, it works. It works very efficiently and very effectively. And I remember my binges and how I could eat certain foods at certain times along the line and feel a certain high from it. And it was exciting. It was comforting. The word that we had talked about was wonderful. I just couldn't wait at night to get those boys to sleep and to get into my little wonderful world, exit reality, and get into my little wonderful world of carbohydrate high and watching Forensic Files till 2 a.m, and then going and crying myself to sleep every night. But it was awful, but it was survivable. I survived through that very difficult time that I was in. But it works until it stops working, right? It works and then it doesn't work anymore. And when it doesn't work anymore is when it gets hard to say, okay, I'm done with that. Sorry, that's my little clock going off in the background with my little Christmas music. But, you have to be able to stop. And that's the hardest part. So just, stick with us and I'm learning that I can't really stop, but carnivore, I think, is going to be my saving grace.
Yeah. And there is freedom. Most carnivores talk about the freedom of carnivore because the carnivore critics talk about how restrictive it is. And the carnivore adherents or zealots will talk about how that's exactly what we need, right? We need that restriction. We need to be able to say, only meat. You don't have to look. If you look at it and you see that it didn't come from an animal, it's not on your plan. And the other joy of carnivore is you don't have to measure, right? You can eat pretty much until you're full. And even then some, you'll learn the hard way. You eat past full.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention specifically that this weekend, a couple of days ago, I don't know what day of the week it is. It's Tuesday right now. So Sunday, I cooked up some bacon. I cooked up a steak. I cooked some meatloaf. Now, the meatloaf did have some carbs in it because it had a little bit of ketchup on the top and it was already prepared meatloaf. I didn't make it, but I cooked up the meatloaf. And then I also made some ground beef with some pork sausage together. And I'm finding that I really enjoy that. That's kind of a quick go-to. And I can put a little bit of cheese on it and I can eat that. So I have different choices that are good to go that are ready. And that's something that you can actually even eat cold. And then there's always the Archer beef sticks that are easy to, carry around with you on the go when you need to have something, low carb or no carb.
All right, everybody. Thanks for following us. Subscribe, say hi. See you
All
soon.
right, comment and we'll see you. Keep on keeping on. Bye.